So guys, welcome to my channel. um in today's tutorial I want to show you how to draft and cut a bustier. So this tutorial is about the cutting, the drafting and the sewing process. So if this is your first time of stopping by, please kindly subscribe so you'll be the first person to get notified whenever I post a new video. All right, so let's get started, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like my video. Okay, so now the things I actually use my fabric and mesh net lining and some few other things that you get to know. So let's get started. So the first thing I did was to measure 1 inch, which is which serve as my top line. Okay, which is up like the shoulder line. All right, so measure 1 inch first and then connect the lines. So after connecting the lines, I went ahead to measure 17 inches, which is also my half length, as well called full front length in pattern drafting. Okay, the 17 inches note is for the front, and the back is 15 inches. Like my shoulder to my nap to waist measurement is actually 15 inches, which is, so now you can see the difference is like 2 inches. So that 2 inches is what I'm going to use as my side bust. Okay, so now I'm gonna ahead to measure 8 inches downward from that my full front length. Okay, which serve as my hip length. So from there I went ahead to measure 1.5, which is going to use as my shoulder length. Okay, now to get the shoulder slope, you measure 1.5. all right, and divide your shoulder measurement by 2. You can see the 1.5 is there, so and then connect the lines. Now measuring this 1.5 shoulder slope, I've not added my seam allowance for the shoulder. Okay, so from there I went ahead to indicate my neck measurement. Actually that's not what I'm using for the neck measurement. I just did that to indicate my neckline. All right, so I actually use 2.5, both the width and the depth. Okay, so from there I went ahead to measure my bust point, which is 10, and my under bust point, which is 13. Okay, so the first thing I did was my bust point note. Now the second one is my under bust, which is 13. Okay, so after doing that I connect the lines. So after connecting the lines, I went ahead to indicate my bust, my under bust, my waistline and my hip line. Okay, now from there I went ahead by 1.5 inch to get my across chest. Not we have shoulder front and we have shoulder back. We also have across front and across back. So across chest is what actually use 1.5 from my bust point upward. So from there I went ahead to measure my bust span, which is 7. So I divided it by 2, which is 3.5, and connect the lines. Note there is no sewing allowance. So the sewing allowance you are going to put when you are cutting fabric. So from there I went ahead to share my measurement on my bust, my waist, my hip line. All right, and then connect the line straight. Okay, you can see the way I connected the lines. I didn't connect it to the waist then to the hip. No, so I connected it. So the distance from your waist to where the straight line is, just like that, okay, is what you are going to divide by 3. Whatever you have, okay, divide by 3 and share it. Okay, mine I had 1.7, so I divided it by 3. I got 0.6, and was what I shared on the side, on the and on the bust span line. Okay, so from there I went ahead to put my side bust measurement, and I connected it to meet my bust point. Okay, now the 2 inches does not have anything to affect the back measurement. Okay, so marking it like that, it means I'm going to get rid of the dart. Okay, so from there I went ahead to do my under bust tightening. The how I got my under bust is I measured like the difference between my bust and my under bust circumference. Mine is actually 9. Okay, So I had to divide it. Okay, mine is 6 rather. So I divided it by 6. Okay, and it gives me 1. So whatever I have, that's what I got. So I went ahead to measure my across chest measurement. Like my shoulder front is 13.5. My across chest is the 12 rather. Okay, sorry guys, my shoulder front is 13, then my across chest is 12. So now the distance from that across chest to your bust line, okay, to your bust measurement, whatever you have, okay, for the front you divide it by 4. Note I said for the front. Okay, now that's for you to get the armhole contour. So go to your shoulder and um measure it to your chest line. Whatever you have, you mark the midpoint and take in by 0.3, okay, on your tape roll, and connect the lines to get the armhole contour. All right, then contour your armhole. So that's how it is. So after I finished doing that, I went ahead to retake my measurement and I got 8.5, and that's exactly, okay, my armhole. All right. So from there, I went ahead to divide my shoulder into two so I can get the lines, okay, that will connect my bust point, because I want to close the dart now. The side dart, I mean. So now, whatever you have, actually, I did that because I thought it's princess darts that I'm going to sew. But sorry, guys, next time I'm going to sew princess dart. Forget about the lines I just drawn. Okay, I just drew. All right. So let's go. So after I finished doing that, I went ahead to cross check my measurement, because I've noticed most of the times after removing the dart, definitely it's going to affect your waist measurement. So after I finished doing that, I said let me cross check, and behold, my waist was complete. Okay, so I went ahead to add 1.5 inches. Okay, and then when I get to the hip line, I brought it up by 2 in order to get that curve, that yoke kind of curve. All right, and then I connected the lines. Okay, so I added 1.5 now because I know that I've started adding weight. All right. So from there, I went ahead just like what I did, and then I connected it because I didn't just want it to be straight. I wanted to have a kind of U shape normally. So I brought it up by 2 inches. Okay, note have not added seam allowance, okay, on the shoulder, like I said, and I've not added seam allowance on.
And then
Okay,
I'm going to add half inch.
now I've
Okay.
added seam allowance.
So
That's
when you're
going
adding
to
it, just
be
like
my
this is what you're going to
joining for
add
the
your
shoulder. You can see
okay.
the way I connected it. I connected it to meet the lines I drawn for the neck. I went ahead to add my half inch, okay, for the armhole, and then cut out the fabric. Note I've not closed my dart. All right, now I'm going to cut the center front out. So like I said, if you check now, the center front is kind of pointy. Okay, before then I went ahead to cut my neck. Actually used 3.5 for the width, and the depth I used 4 inches because I didn't want it to be too low. I didn't want it to be low, so I wanted it to be a kind of just like the way you saw on the video. Okay, so from there I went ahead to, since I want to use skin net or mesh for it, so I brought it down by 8.5. Okay, and then from there I connected the lines. I measured like 4 inches from my armhole and then connected it to meet the 8.5 that I marked. Basically you can make your own, if you depending on how you want your yoke to be. Okay, you can change the neck. It doesn't have to be this same style, but that's the yoke like I've indicated it. I went ahead on the center front. It was kind of pointy. I had to erase it a little, so I went ahead to cut my center front out and indicate it center front. All right, Note, I'm yet to close my dart, so it's time to close the dart. You just like what I did. I want to get rid of this dart, okay, so that it won't affect my joining, and so that it will give me that shape. All right, look at it. The dart is closed, so I'm going to go ahead and use my masking tape and tape it down. So I'm done doing that. I'm going to cut it out now. You can see I'm getting rid of the dart. Okay, just like you see me do, I'm getting rid of the dart. So I'm done cutting the front. Look at it now. So I'm going to add like half inch on the side bust, okay, because it has reduced. So I've gone ahead to measure my shoulder for the back, and then just like what I did, I measure 1 point. The first one measurement is for the top line, all right, then and the next one is going to be my shoulder line measurement, which is 1.5. Remember, that's what I did for the front, okay. So from there I went ahead to mark 1.5, and then I connected the lines. So after connecting the lines, I went ahead to my measure my back measurement, which is 15. Okay, 15. Okay, before then I measured my shoulder measurement, which is 14.5. I divided by 2 and then connect it. I marked it. I went ahead to use 2.5, just like what I did, and then I connected the lines. Okay, so I went ahead to add half inch for the joining allowance. You can see it there, and so I connected it slantly to meet the shoulder slope. From there I went ahead to measure 15 inches. With the 15 inches how I got it, I measured my just like from my back shoulder to where my midpoint, like the hollow effect on the back is. That's what we call napped waist in pattern drafting. From there I went ahead to measure my bust point, okay, and then connect the lines. So from there I went ahead to measure 8 inches. Since it's top, like it's a complete blouse, I'm not using only the half length, but if you want to stop on the half length, you can stop there and then continue. But I actually added 8 inches, which serve as the hip line, and connected the lines together. Okay, so from there I went ahead, just like what I did, from the bust point upward I measured 1.5. Okay, I measure 1.5 and then I connect the lines. So from there I went ahead to measure my across back measurement. Note, we have across back and we have across chest, okay. So from there my across back is 14 and I divided by 4, and just like what I did, I went ahead to take my measurement, my bust, my waist and my hip measurement, and then connect the lines together. Note, I connected it straight. Now the distance from there, whatever you have, you share it by 3, divide it by 3, okay. Now I've gone ahead to put my across back measurement, like I divided it by 4 and then share it, okay, just like this. I measure it and then exactly what I did for the front and connect the lines. Okay, probably I would like to put it there, you can change it, but I prefer putting at the back, like the 15 inches, so I can, our back is not straight. Okay, now I'm going to mark it there so that when I'm sewing it, it will fit in properly. Okay, there will be no need for your cloth to bulge. Now, just like this, I went ahead to indicate the dart. All right, but in this tutorial I just want to make it a short video. Okay, so the next video you are going to get is how to sew it, but basically this one is for the drafting. So after this I'm going to post another video which is going to show you the process I actually did to sewing, to the gumming of the hairstay, and to the joining of the mesh. Okay, and that's it. Note, for the back, the distance from there to there, whatever you have, you are going to measure it by, you divide it by 2 and then connect the line. So I went ahead, I wanted to cut the neck So I remembered I've not added my seam allowance, so I went ahead to add half inch for the seam allowance. Note, what you put is what you are going to sew. Then I actually wanted the lines, the shoulder to rhyme, so I used the same um I use the same shoulder length for the front to mark it. Then for the back depth, I actually brought it down by 2 inches, okay, and then connect it, okay, just like that, and connect it. Please, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly do so, so I can always get recommended by YouTube, and you too will be the first person to get notified whenever I post a new video. Okay, so let's get started. So from there, I went ahead to measure 8.5, okay, because I want, that's where I want the yoke to stop, and then connect it. I connected it, and after I finished connecting it rather, I didn't just, I wanted it to have a little
This is
opening,
my
okay,
yoke
just a little opening like that. I didn't just want it
for
to be
back yoke.
straight, okay, just like the seal do. If you like, it's your choice, you can leave it like that or you made it. So I indicated it my yoke, okay, like the back yoke. So from there, I went ahead to cut it out. And meanwhile, when you are cutting it out, you can see you're still going to cut it out. You might decide to sew your dart, okay? You might decide to sew your dart, okay, just like the way I did. Actually, went up by 2 inches from the hip line, okay, and connect it so I can have that shape. But you might decide to sew your dart too. But personally, I like removing that, and it does not have anything to do with it. So our advice, whenever you are sewing, if you are going to be using my pattern, okay, make sure you remove your dart. It's still going to give you the same fitting, okay, so that when you are sewing, you're going to have a dartless dress, a dartless blouse, and all those stuff. You can see I'm getting rid of all the dart. Now look at it, there's nothing there. You can see after sewing it, you are going to have the neat finishing. All right, so please guys, the next video I'm going to post is going to be tutorial on how to sew it, okay. So thank you for stopping by, thank you for watching, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and God bless you. Now then, my blouse is ready. All right, so let's bye.